Hello viewers, welcome back to my technology channel on YouTube GTech. Actually, I was working on a project to build a racing drone that could do a lot of other things. So such as it could actually take aerial photography with the help of an action camera. It also has an FPV camera. It also has a GPS, so using which it can take GPS coordinates of locations. It can also do other things like say hover around a place. It could it could also return to the location where actually it took off automatically. So and much more. So I was working on such a drone to actually participate in a competition. So I thought, why not I would I would make a video of this and share with you on YouTube and other social media platforms. So one other very important aspect of this project is that I'm going to keep the weight of this quadcopter to less than 250 grams. So within 250 grams I would add all these things and I would try to what do you call try to implement all the functionalities that I just told you. So that is because if the quadcopter is about 250 grams, you need to get a registration done for it, and if it is at certain places, you also need to take a pilot license for it. So there are a lot of complications. So the simplest way is to keep the quadcopter less than 250 grams, and probably with minimum hassles you can fly it. So that's the main reason why I have kept the weight of the quadcopter less than 250 grams. So it's a little bit challenging, but let's see how it comes. So let's start. To start with, I'm going to explain about the parts I chose to build this quadcopter, racing quadcopter, of course, with a lot of extensions. And also I'm going to tell you where I purchased those parts. So probably if you are interested, even you can probably procure the parts and build one. Actually, I'm at Bangalore, so sitting at Bangalore, so I have arranged all these parts to build the quadcopter. So let's start with the parts. So the first component that is required is the quadcopter frame. So here is the frame. It's a 150 mm frame. Okay. So this is from a company called as Diatone. So it weighs around 52 grams, I think, along with the bolts, nuts, spacers, everything. I purchased it online from a website called as quadcopters.com, quadcopters.com, which is based in Mumbai. So this is the first component. The second part, the second thing that we require is motors. So there's an F20 motor, so it's a 13 mm motor and a 3200 kV motor. Okay, so it works up to 4S. So I've extended the wires little bit because the wires were too short. So it weighs around 13 grams along with the wire. Each motor weighs 13 grams along with the wire. So even this I purchased from quadcopters.com. So two things over. So next we will take up the flight controller. So for this I chose a stack from a company called as HGLRC. So there are 3 boards here, if you can see. So this is the flight controller. This is a 4-in-1 electronic speed controller. it also has a BEC, okay, battery eliminator circuit, for supplying power to the flight controller and other components. Okay, so flight controller, electronic speed controller, and then this is the video transmitter. Okay, video transmitter, and they have given a pigtail antenna for this. Okay, so all these three things, three boards together with the antenna, they weigh around 12-13 grams. Okay, 12 to 13 grams, and I purchased this stack. It's called as a HGLRC XJB F438 stack. Okay, so I purchased it from a website called RC Mumbai, rcmumbai.com. Okay, so the third party's the components is done. So, and the fourth one, so this is the receiver. Okay, so this is to receive the signals from the transmitter or the remote control. So the model number is it's an XSR, FlySky XSR receiver. Okay, it's called as XSR Mini. It weighs around 3 grams. That's all. Okay, so for this I am using a FlySky TH9X transmitter or remote, okay, to pair with this receiver. FS TH9X transmitter or remote, but with a change, that is, I am using a different module than the original one that you get with this transmitter. That is, it's an XJT module. It's an XJT module that I have fixed to this FlySky TH9X transmitter instead of the default one that we get with this transmitter. And this pairs with this XSR Mini receiver. Okay, so that is with respect to receiver and transmitter. So then the propellers. So these are 3-inch propellers with, I think, 5-inch pitch. Okay. So once again, I forgot to tell you. So I purchased the receiver from RC Mumbai, and these are 3-inch propellers, 3-blade 3-inch propellers with, I think, 5-inch pitch. So even these I purchased from RC Mumbai, and these weigh about 6 grams. All the 15 Forza, all the propellers, all 4 propellers together, it weighs around 6 grams, and this receiver weighs around 3 grams. Okay, so then I have this camera, FPV camera. Okay, so this I purchased from a website called as robo.in. So it weighs around 3 grams, I think, just 3 grams. It also has a microphone. Okay, so then I have the GPS. Actually, this is a U-Blocks GPS. I don't know whether it would work properly with this flight controller. I have also ordered one more. from some other website. It should come in a day's time. So, but most likely I will be using the one that I will be getting tomorrow, because that weighs around, the weight of that GPS is around 5 grams, 5.5 grams. So this weighs around 7 grams. So I think even this should work. So that the other GPS, so once it comes I will tell you the details about that, probably tomorrow. So this I purchased from, once again, robo.in. Okay. So then this is the, this is an important this thing. So there's an action camera. This is an action camera from a company called as Firefly. So it's it's called as Firefly Micro. Okay, this is a fantastic action camera at such a low weight, like it weighs around 14 grams, and it can take video at 1080 resolution and 60 frames per second. Okay, and it has a, you can put the memory card here, and automatically everything is recorded into the memory card. Okay, so you can charge this using this USB port, and for every charge it can actually work for about an hour. So this is the camera. This is the action camera. So sorry, these are some more screws that come with the this action camera. Very important. This action camera I purchased from a website called as easycart.com. EASSY, something like that, easycart.com. Okay, and it took about 15 days for this to come. So this weighs, I've already told you, this weighs around 14 grams, and the other components, such as, see, these are pads, landing pads, so that I'm going to use. It weighs around 2 grams. So this is the battery strap. Okay, so this weighs around once again 3 grams. So this is the buzzer that I'm going to use. It once again weighs around weighs approximately 2 grams. Then I have the connector, XT60 connector for connecting the battery. Okay, so next, finally, the battery itself. So I'm going to use a 1000 milliampere hour 3S battery for this, or else I'm also trying to get a 850 milliampere hour 850 milliampere hour 4S battery. So that would be more appropriate. That would be a 70C battery. So right now this is a 30C battery, so this is not enough actually. For testing purposes I'll be using. So this weighs around 85 grams. So the other battery, that 850 milliampere hour 3S battery, would probably weigh around 60 grams, and a 4S battery probably would weigh around 85 grams. So that would be fine for me. So these are the components that I will be using to build this quadcopter, racing copter with camera, GPS, everything with a lot of functionalities. So overall, probably we can put all these things together on a plate, and we can see like to what weight it is coming to. So let's see that. So now let's see like how much the weight of all the components is coming to. So I will start with the frame itself. So this is the frame with all the nuts, bolts, spacers, everything. Okay. So now let me add all the motors. Okay. So next let me add the propellers. So now let me add the flight controller, electronic speed controller and the video transmitter. Okay. So done. So next let me add the receiver. Done. So next let me add the buzzer. Okay. So then let me add the FPV camera. So this is the connector, X360 connector. Okay. So then let me add the battery. Okay. So next I will not add the GPS and the action camera. So I've already told how much it weighs. This the camera weighs around 15 grams and GPS, the new GPS is supposed to come and it would weigh around 5 grams. Okay, 5.5 grams. So that we will add to whatever weight that is coming to. So how much it is coming to right now? So it's coming to around 220 grams. So can you focus here? 220 grams along with the battery. Okay. So all the components included, it is coming to around 220 grams. Maybe when I actually assemble it, I'm going to prune a few some wires and other things, so it might still reduce by another 2 to 3 grams or maybe 5 grams. Sorry, one more item I forgot to add, that is the pads. So after putting that, it's coming to 223. So it might, like once I assemble it, it might become 220 grams. So the only thing that I can probably, like as per my feeling, I might get a battery which is a little bit probably less heavier than whatever I have here. So this is around 85 grams, so I might get a battery which might weigh around 60 grams if I buy an 850 milliampere hour. If it is a 4S battery, probably for an 850 milliampere hour, it will once again be around 80-85 grams. So if things become heavy, I might go in for an 850 milliampere hour battery and reduce the weight by another 25 grams. Okay, so I have that scope. So so now somehow I have 30 grams still, that I can use. So GPS and the camera together will come to another 20 grams. So still I have a scope of another 10 grams. So I think most likely I will be able to assemble the whole quadcopter in less than 250 grams. Okay, so now let's see how we can assemble the quadcopter. First, what I have done is I took the frame, then to the frame plate I have fixed the arms. Like you can see here. Okay, so they had given the required bolts, nuts and bolts. So using those, I have fixed the arms. Then to each arm I have fixed the motor. To each arm I have fixed the motor. So now there are 4 motors fixed, like as you can see here. So then I started with the ESC, electronic speed controller. So I secured this to the board, like you can see here. Then I have soldered the wires from each motor, you can see here. And for this, obviously the HGLRC manual gives all the details. So what wire has to go where, all those details are provided in the manual. So very simple to do if you follow the manual. So when you buy it, they give you the manual, or you can download it from the internet directly. Okay. So next, what I have done is, I took the flight controller. Okay. You can see here. So what I have done is, I have soldered all the things those required and all the wires those required as per the manual. For example, here I have connected the video transmitter. Okay. Once again, what wire has to go where is provided in the manual. So then here you can see I have connected the camera. Okay, this is the FPV camera. Then I didn't have an LED buzzer strip, so right now I just connected a buzzer. So I forgot to procure one. So once I procure one, I'm going to put the LED cum buzzer strip. So even for that, obviously for everything, the wiring diagram is provided in the manual. The diagram is provided in the manual. Then this wire that you can see goes to the receiver. I've kept it somewhere. So it goes to the receiver. So it has a socket. It has a pin. It's called as GST, I think, GST pin. So one last item that I haven't connected is the GPS, because it is yet to arrive. So I might get it in next couple of hours. So I haven't connected it. So the GPS that I'm getting is Diatone BN200 is the GPS that I'm going to connect to this quadcopter. So the most important aspect why I specifically selected that GPS is, so that is known to work with this. That is first aspect. So second aspect is it weighs just 5.2 grams. Okay, so that's not going to put huge weight on the quadcopter. So that is acceptable weight. So these are the things I have got ready now. Like once I fix the GPS, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to assemble whole thing and show it to you. So once I assemble, then I need to configure the quadcopter using Betaflight. So Betaflight is the software that we are going to use to configure the quadcopter. So for that, first we need to update the firmware. So once we have the firmware in, we need to configure. So let's move to that step. So finally today the GPS module arrived. So it is Diatone BN200. So this is one of the smallest GPS available for drones, and it's also quite powerful. Actually, Oscar Liang, so he recommends this particular GPS. So I've seen an article wherein he has tested it and recommended this GPS for racing copters or racing drones. Okay, so now I have soldered the wires of the GPS to the flight controller as per the manual. Okay, so now I am pretty much done with all the wiring and everything. So finally I will put together everything and then show it to you. So subsequently the only thing that is left would be configuring this, configuring the whole thing with the help of Betaflight. So for that we need to first update the firmware. So after updating the firmware, we need to we need to configure the whole thing. So we will look into that. Okay. So now the assembling of the quad is finished. You can see it here. Okay. So I'm yet to actually put the propellers because we need to configure or say configure and calibrate things using software called Betaflight. Okay. So one other important thing is the very first time when you connect the quad to the power supply, that is when you are connecting the battery for the first time. So you don't know, you might have made some mistake somewhere and there might be a short somewhere, or there might be some circuit may not be working properly. In such a case, like connecting a 30, 40C or 70C battery will cause fire. To avoid such a thing, what we need to do is we need to connect a bulb, like you can see here. We need to connect a bulb in series with the battery. Okay, in series. Okay, so here I have not only connected an automobile bulb, actually this is a 12 volt automobile bulb. It can take about 70 watts. So I have paralleled the two filaments, so it can take about 70 watts. So I have seriesed the bulb and I have also seriesed a fuse here. So this fuse box also I purchased from an automotive shop. So it is meant for automobile purposes, but we can use it here. So and I have put a fuse of about 15 amps. Okay. So in case more than that amount of current flows, so the fuse is going to blow out and keep the things safe. So now let's just connect to Betaflight and see whether the build is working. Okay, so I have already actually connected it once and I have calibrated certain things. I have set up certain things and calibrated certain things. So here is my Betaflight. So first thing is I need to connect the USB to my computer. Okay, so I'm connecting the USB of the flight controller to the computer through, once again, USB. So now you can see the lights are blinking, it's booting, and it's you can see here. Now let's go to the screen. So you can see here somewhere. Okay, so it's yet to connect. So at the same time I will also connect the battery, because without the battery receiver and motors will not work even for testing purposes. So I'm going to connect the battery. Okay, so now the flight controller is connected to, it's connected and it's on. Okay, so now I have already calibrated certain things. Here I just want to show you that all things are working, in fact. So see, for example, I am going to, you can check here, I am going to just move the copter. Okay, so you can see here accordingly it's moving. So which means the gyro is working fine. Okay. So one other thing is receiver, for example. So receiver, here is my receiver. So as I told you, it's a FlySky TH9X. So I have changed the module to XJT. Okay. So let me switch on. Some switch. Okay. Okay. So now you can see the throttle is working. Okay. The roll is working. The pitch is working. And yaw is working. Okay. Throttle is working. Okay. Roll is working. Pitch is working. And yaw is working. So the transmitter is sending the signals properly to the receiver, and receiver is sending the signals to flight controller. So all things are working. And finally, let us also see if motors are working. Okay. So let's go to the motors. So here I need to say I understand the risks. Okay. So now if I increase this, all the motors will start spinning. So see here, I'm increasing. You can check here. All the motors are spinning. Most importantly, I need to check the directions of the motors. So I've already checked and set the directions. So each motor is spinning according to how it is supposed to spin. See the RPM. Great. So that is how. So this is working. So when it comes to GPS, for some reason I think I need to put it outside, put the copter outside so that it can fix to the satellites. Only then it will get enabled. So I've already set it up, but let's see if I think there should not be any problem. So it should work. So that's about the build. Now finally let us put all the put the propellers, put a camera on it, and see that how much it weighs. Okay. The fully assembled racing quad. Of course, it has all the other features also, like you can use it for other different purposes. So all the propellers are fixed. So there is an FPV camera, there is the GPS, there is an action camera, very very important. So this is a very good action camera. It can take videos at full HD, that is 1080 resolution. Okay. So now if you can now if we check the weight of the quadcopter, it's coming around 240 to 243 grams, like you can check here. So you can check here. So the fully loaded quad with GPS, with action camera, with FPV camera, so it's coming to around 240 to 243 grams. Okay, that is inclusive of everything: battery strap, landing pads, and for your information, I have 1000 milliampere hour 3S battery. Okay, 1000 milliampere hour 3S battery. So it should give a flight time of around 4 minutes if you use it moderately. Like if you use it more aggressively, like in acrobatic manner, probably it will give a flight time of about 3 minutes. Okay. So one other thing is, let us say that you don't require the action camera. So when you don't require the action camera, okay, you can just remove this camera, action camera, and if you don't need GPS also, you can remove that also. So together you will save about 15, 20, 22 grams. Okay, 20 to 23 grams you can save if you remove the action camera and the GPS. So that 20 to 23 grams you can add a 4S battery with that 20 to 23 grams. Okay, so maybe 850 milliampere hour 4S battery, or say 1000 milliampere hour 4S battery if you can get, or if you want to use 3S itself, probably you can get about 1300 milliampere hour. Okay, so which means you can increase the flight time. So that's all about this quadcopter build. In my next video I'm going to fly it and show it to you, most important. So to fly this, I'm going to go to a place near Hoskote in Bangalore. Okay, so there is a club, like I've not yet contacted them. So there is a club and a place for flying drones. Okay, they have I think it's a privately owned place. So they rent it out per day so much or something like that. So I'm going to contact them tomorrow. So I will make a video of this flying and show it to you. Okay, so stay tuned to my more videos, because I'm going to make 2 more very useful videos on drones. Okay, so one is relating to a flight simulator that you can actually configure on Betaflight. That is, you can practice you can train yourself and practice to fly drones. So that is one video. So of course flying the quad, that is the second video that I'm going to make. So I wanted to make one more video, I forgot. Anyways, this is it. So please subscribe to my channel and also give thumbs up, that is like it. So that's it. I hope you like this video. Thank you. Good luck.